Hi little sloths, it's me, Nikocado, Avocado, saying hello to you from a bathroom. This is my bathroom here in Los Angeles. But yeah, I just got back from collabing with a YouTuber and I am just filled with so much passion, so much joy, and I feel so good right now, so positive and sharp. I need to share my honest thoughts right now in this moment. You know, sometimes when you're really sad or really happy, you can't get those moments back. You can't replicate them. You can try your best to like fake it. You can try your best to be like, oh, to be happy when you're not really happy. Like I feel like I just got back from a marathon and I have all these endorphins running through me. And really I just got back from a great meal. And I'm just ready to talk to you guys. Listen, I can't live for you. I have to live for me. A lot of you are saying, oh, you just want to please your viewers. It's like, if I wanted to please my viewers, I would just stay silent. I feel so happy, so at peace. It's like a new set of batteries have been put into my body. It's like a light bulb has gone off in my head. And the fact that I'm going through this, I'm going through something that the average person on earth doesn't go through, never has gone through, might not ever gone through. How do you go 20 years of your life without an egg or a piece of fish? How do you, and then do it? Or, you know, go 10 years, over a decade. I'm at early 20s, so it's like half my life without meat. Or 5 years, consecutive years of vegan, and then, well, maybe 7 years in total, because you guys know this. You know the story. I did it in college. Then fell off the wagon, then went back on. But you know, in total, lump sum, like 7 years. So it's been an identity crisis this past, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I put out a few videos 2 weeks ago talking about how I didn't want to be vegan anymore, how I just was confused, questioning, asking for guidance and help, and really just wanting to end it. And I was trying to come up with anything in my head. Well, I was just really sharing my thoughts, and it got a lot of attention. And unfortunately, I've gotten this huge, well, I'm not surprised. I kind of knew it would happen, but it's hard. Like when I made those videos, I didn't put them up for days. Like I record it and I wait a few days. I'm usually backed up in videos anyways, so it's not like out of the ordinary. For example, the video you saw right before this, I filmed like 4 days ago. So I'm always backed up and stuff. So, and that especially, I wasn't sure if I even wanted to show you guys, but I did. I got a huge sea of negativity and hate, and it's to be expected. I built my entire social media presence around the notion of veganism, around the idea of it, the belief of it, the belief, promoting it, loving it, and wanting to share it with other people and helping people do that. And if I stop, well, of course, everyone's going to be confused and upset. So it's kind of like putting my head on a chopping block. You know, that's probably a terrible analogy for this type of circumstance, you know, setting myself off to slaughter. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, you deserve it. You should be, I mean, trust me, for the amount of hate and the amount of death threats, like I showed you guys my spam box on Snapchat. I had 3,000 comments in my spam box. Things go to spam when you use curse words, when it's usually negative, when there's links to other things. Sometimes it's by random, but there have been so much. And anyways, I'm not here to really talk about haters or anything. I understand where trust me, I know, I get it, you guys. I understand where you're coming from. You're upset because I'm doing something that you don't believe in anymore. So yeah, I totally understand. This video is talking about the benefits so far of my journey. It's 3 minutes in and I haven't really gotten to it, sorry. The benefits of eating animal protein, the benefits of eating animal protein daily after not eating it for so many years. Now the first thing I want to say, I want to start off with is, if you are new to my channel, you come to my channel, you see the video that I made saying I don't want to be vegan, and you look at my videos, you see 2 months basically, or maybe it's 3 months by now. 3 months. I don't even have 100 videos. Like, it looks like I started YouTube 3 months ago, of me eating mukbangs. And you say, oh, fried food, jjajangmyeon, cheesy pizza, chicken nugget challenge, blah, 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 stir fries, sushi, and pizza. Yeah, no wonder you didn't feel good. What you don't see is the years of me wholeheartedly trying to stick to I mean, I did. I was like so passionately committed to doing a raw food diet, to doing the starch solution, to doing a whole foods diet. Everyone's saying eat whole foods. It's like, hello? Where were you all of 2016 when I first moved to the South America, when I was eating beans and lentils pretty much daily, going to the gym. When I lived in Florida and I was doing protein shakes and I was eating fruit and I was eating like beans. I had a coach, I had 2 trainers, and they were both vegan as well. They even took me out to some plant-based restaurants here and there. And listen, I remember adding grains back in because a lot of the vegan doctors were saying, look, you need grains. I did interviews. I literally have really passionately tried. I've done it. And the truth is, I wouldn't talk about the struggles. I would keep trying, even though I didn't feel good, because I was told it's the best way to live. Even though it's such the minority of the world, you know, we're like talking like 0.4% of the population is attempting or even saying they are, doesn't mean they really are. So it's not like I was doing something out of the ordinary, like a fringe kind of thing. And I'm not trying to say that veganism is a fringe festival. Right off the bat, I have respect for vegans because of the goals of wanting to do the right thing. So that's why another reason why I had this identity crisis. I want to do the right thing. I'm not a bad person, you guys. I'm not like this evil, crazy person that's like trying to like kill out of fun. Like I'm not like that. The goals of wanting to do well for the environment, do well for your bodies, it just sounds like a blessing. It sounds too good to be true. It's like, how is this so obvious and true, yet no one else does it or talks about it? There's never been a vegan culture. There's never been a vegan tribe. There's never been a civilization. I mean, it's just like, why is it all of a sudden now that I had to find out about this? And I know lots of people go vegan, not because of the internet, but I did, and I feel like half the people watching me did as well. I mean, how do you share information without the internet so freely? You don't find vegan books in the libraries back in 1990 or 1980. I mean, maybe 1 or 2, but... So that's my first point, really. You guys come to my channel and you say, oh, you eat like crap, but you don't see the fact that I've been doing this for so long. All I'm saying is that I tried, that I gave it an honest attempt like no other. And sure, I was skinny for the majority of all these diets. I feel like I'm even thinner now than many points when I was raw vegan. Such a swollen face, and I still get very swollen faces, and I'm going to talk about this in this video. My ideas as to why I have such terrible water retention. I feel like I've given myself an honest about 3 weeks now of eating animal products every day. And the main source for me has been fish, sardines and salmon, and eggs as well. And that's what I did for the first week or 2. And let's talk about what it's like. What is it like to go 20 years without a piece of fish and then eat it? Well, it was hard to get used to it. Someone left a comment saying, oh, if you claim to be a natural omnivore, why are you sticking up your nose and saying, ew, to fish? The logic is like so black and white. Let me try to think of something. It's actually, people left responses to that in the comments, and I agreed with all of them. First of all, remember, I haven't had it for 20 years. When you remove something for 20 years and you take it back into your life, it's gonna seem out of the ordinary to you. It's going to be shocking. It's not going to seem normal to you. Okay, plenty of people eat fish daily without a problem. Number 2, I ate sardines, which, as I later found out, everyone's telling me, like, someone's like, I'm a fish eater, I love seafood, and you picked the worst thing to start with. I don't even like sardines. So that's number 2. I picked something out of a can. Didn't even like prepare it in a dish. I just ate it straight out of the can because I thought that would be best. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying. Number 3, there's so many other natural things that we are removed from. We would be eating bugs naturally. Oldest cultures and civilizations, bugs were a huge part of their diet. And if you want to talk about what's natural, a lot of people say we should eat like primates. Well, primates eat bugs all the time. Herbivores. You look at a cow. Orland had a pet cow because, you know, his family has owned farms in the past. He had this cow that went up to a quail, because quails nest in the fields, he said, like down below. I've never seen a quail, but he said the cow went up to it, stomped on the quail, and ate the quail. And the cow is a herbivore. Deer are herbivores, and they will eat other deer, and they will eat carcass at any chance they can get, because whether it's for a boost of nutrients that aren't easily absorbed in plants or not as readily available in plants. I don't know what a deer's requirement are. Iron, B12. I don't understand, what a deer needs. But even Mr. Noodle. Mr. Noodle is a parrot. Someone left a comment the other day of me eating the eggs, and they're like, because I shared it with Noodle, they're like, "How dare you give eggs to a bird? You're so cruel." And it had hundreds of comments. I'm thinking like, have you ever seen a bird in the wild? Have you ever seen a chicken? Like, they eat their own eggs. Mr. Noodle is a fruitarian. And in the wild, he would be eating eggs. And Orland's a vet technician. Listen, so, I'm not saying he knows everything. I'm just saying he knows a lot. And he taught me all this kind of stuff. He's like, he would be eating eggs every chance he could get. He would be eating insects. He would be eating clay. Parrots that live off fruit eat clay all the time because there aren't even enough ripe fruit for birds in the rainforests or wherever they're from, that they have to eat clay to like not die and get minerals and this and that, because there aren't even enough. So people say we should be eating, lots of fruit. It's like, well, if there aren't even enough fruits naturally for birds, it makes you question. I just came from a jungle, basically. I have been living in the tropics for years. I know it. I lived on a farm. Like, I understand the work that goes entailed, tropical living and everything. It's not a beautiful fantasy, rainbows, everything just happens. Like, no. You also have to understand, I never even liked fish as a child. So I'm telling myself it's gonna be nasty. I'm perceiving it as nasty because I'm connecting my perception of it with a 5-year-old. My interpretation as a 5-year-old is how I, at that moment, still perceived it. These are natural things. So the person left the comment, well, you're eating fish and eggs and you were very scared and you didn't like it at first. Well, it should be so natural to you. That logic, it just doesn't, I don't know. To me, I'm sure my thoughts, my personal beliefs, it doesn't make sense to me, Because this person, I would hand them a handful of cockroaches and say, here, Missy, eat this. Here, eat the handful of cockroaches. Because you want to talk about what's natural, do that. And let's see if you cringe too. Naturally, we would be giving birth in streams. You want to cringe at that? And look, I don't even like sugary stuff that much. I've never had a big sweet, you guys that know me, I'm not a big sweet tooth person. Even eating the most sugar-rich diet on the planet for years, I still would, too much sugar, I was just, too much sugar, Some people just don't like it, even if it's natural to them. So it really comes down to personal preference too. That's my response to that aspect. Now I want to just talk about what I feel. It's been every single day of eating animal products. I feel so good. It's like a light bulb went off. It's like I saw the light. It's like a new set of batteries have been implanted into my head. Talk about sustainable energy. For example, I had a bunch of animal products yesterday. I had some cheese, I had eggs, I had meat. And usually, whether I was eating a high carb diet, an all fruit diet, a fruit and veggie diet, a whole foods diet, a diet with bread and beans and legumes for a year, whether I was eating some junk food, no matter the starch solution, any kind of vegan diet I've tried. Every 3 or 4 hours, it was like, I need food where bad things happen. And remember, I got tons of hypoglycemia symptoms from the high sugar diet. It was just a huge load, I feel like. I mean, this is my feelings. A huge load of sugar to process for the liver, for the pancreas. Every couple hours, if I didn't have food, I felt a major disconnect in my head. I remember when I added salt back into my diet, and I ate salt daily for like a year or two. That was, especially when I was working out at the gym, I needed the electrolytes, and that helped initially. You don't understand. A lot of people say, oh, I remember when he went from raw to cooked, he felt so much better, he looked better, he was able to like put on muscle and this and that. A lot of you guys remember that journey. But it was at first. When you come from something where you're lacking and you do something that benefits a little bit more, at first it's going to be great. But does that mean it's going to last for 20 years? Isn't it going to last 80 years of my life? going from that to whole foods and bread, I felt better than eating just all starches or starches with greens. I felt better. But is that gonna last? Is that gonna last? That's one point that a lot of people don't think about. I mean, I didn't think about that. I think, oh, if I feel good now, I must just follow this for the rest of my life. You know, that's not necessarily like how it works for me. I literally went 7 or 8 hours without food. I woke up at like, what, 7 this morning or something. I didn't eat until 4 p.m. I had a snack of some Triscuits, which the box is holding this up. You guys will see in my vlog when I'm walking around Los Angeles. Literally, I just had this sustainable, full force brain power that I've never felt. It helped eating more complex carbs, like sugars go through, like fruit and stuff. Eat a lot of fruit that goes through your stomach like that. It's so fast burning. You have to eat a lot, and you have to eat so often. You become obsessed, or I became obsessed about getting enough food. It's just so unrealistic, and it just was hard for me. Going to starches, it helped, but the starches still go by so fast. For me, I'm thinking it might have to do with protein. And you guys will say, remember, well, you ate beans and lentils pretty much daily for like a very long time. Especially when you went to the gym, you started eating beans every day. Orland's been making my food all the time. He, of all people, knows, because he's the one that makes it for me. He's like, I've been feeding you chickpeas like 3 times a week and lentils on Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays. Like, you know, we were down to a schedule when I first went to South America. And when you think about those foods that are the vegan proteins, they're still mostly carbs. The protein in beans is still so little compared to like the protein in a fish or a burger or a piece of ham or, you know, I'm just naming up. It's still very, very different. Very, very different. The majority of calories still come from carbohydrates. So it's just carbs. This is what I'm thinking. Like, I've been so stable with energy. It's like a new set of batteries. Another thing that I noticed is that, you guys know I store water weight very, very easily. I'm gonna flash some photos here. I don't know which ones I'm gonna flash, but they're just like photos from when I was eating like lots of carbs and pasta and rice and potatoes. Obviously, I wasn't gonna eat fruits for mukbangs. I wasn't gonna eat potatoes for mukbangs. I was gonna show the pasta and the rice, lots of sushi. But remember, you only see 20% of my diet. You guys only see 30% of my diet. You see 1 meal out of 3 meals or 4 meals. Some days I would film 2 mukbangs in a day and then go 2 days without filming. But anyways, so much carbs, so much water in my face, so much water in my arms, in my stomach. You have to exercise for hours to compensate for that. And I've always had this, remember I said I would talk about the water storing problem? I'm thinking that protein helps so much. Like, I was eating excessive amounts of carbohydrates to try to get fats. I ate at one point of my journey, and don't say, I know some people will turn around and be like, oh, don't listen to the raw vegans, oh, don't listen to the high carb vegans, oh, don't listen to Dr. McDougall. It's like, literally, thousands of people say this is the best way to live. Literally, doctors, licensed medical doctors say this is, even Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine reminds you how low to keep your fat and protein. So, you know, it's not like I just came up with these ideas and said, oh, I'm just gonna do it. It's like, I'm doing it because I've been told. No, I take responsibility in what I'm doing. But also, if the internet is a place to share, if you struggle or if things don't work out, I think it's important to let people know. That's why I make these videos, right? So anyways, the protein, oh my gosh, it's just made such a difference for me. Trying to get protein out of eating all these carbs, trying to get great sources of fats out of carbs, great sources of amino acids out of eating rice and stuff. So that's one difference. I don't have to eat as many carbs, and wow, do I feel so balanced. I haven't talked about this for weeks, okay? Well, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks for me, because I put that video, you know, it was delayed upload, but literally, I wanted to give myself an honest few weeks of trying to let you guys know. I'm not gonna do this for a day and be like, oh, this is what I think. This is almost, you know, a month. Like, one of the reasons I started doing mukbangs in the first place is because anyone that knows me, no matter if I was eating whole foods, starch solution, Rotel 4, a raw food diet, any type of vegan diet I've tried. Even high fat. You guys are like, you eat so much fat. Yes, for a period of time I did. I brought my fat up to 30%. Sorry, I had to turn the camera back on. So I was talking about like having to eat a lot of food. That's one reason I started doing mukbang, because no matter what diet I did, I had to eat so much to feel satiated. And still, I mean, at first, bringing the fat up really helped. At first, bringing the beans and lentils up really helped. So it has really helped with not having to eat as much. You know, it's a blessing in disguise, you know, to be able to eat 3,000 or 4,000 calories a day, every single day, and like not really gain that much fat. I may gain water weight. You know, someone called me fat recently. A friend of mine called me fat. She's like, you are so fat. And literally, I have eaten animal protein every day for 2 weeks, and all that like extra stuff, those photos you saw of like hoarding water and looking like a balloon went away. You know, and I haven't exercised. I've been traveling. You don't lose that much. You don't lose 10 pounds of fat in a week or two from not doing much of anything. If you have to exercise 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day, or on top of what you're already doing, it suggests that there may be holes in the diet, right? I don't think you should have to exercise for 3 or 4 hours a day or 2 hours a day every single day. So I mean, listen, if you love exercising, that's one thing. Like if you really enjoy it, that's great. So anyways, it's just like very refreshing. It's refreshing to not have to stuff so much food into me, to be able to get more energy out of eating less. And I still enjoy, you guys see my mukbangs, you see me on Snapchat, I'm still indulging. But there's a switch in my brain. So many of you have been commenting, saying that I look less clumsy in my mukbangs, that I just seem different. Some girl left a comment, had like 200 likes, and she said, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something so different about you. Your train of thought, whether it's your memory or your speech or just whatever's coming through the screen. And she also said, and this is coming from a vegan, I don't know how to describe it, but other than new batteries, a light, a switch, it's like a veil has been lifted. If I feel better now than I did ever eating whole foods or ever eating a raw food diet or ever, I mean, like I said, long term, not at first. Making those changes to stay vegan was so great, but long term. Something else that comes to my mind, I'm really speaking off my mind here, is that there may be something in animal products that makes us human that we just don't know about, or that we can't really pinpoint to being essential. Because like I said, if there's never been a vegan tribe or a vegan society or a vegan culture, if there's never been any of this kind of stuff, you know, sometimes you don't see something unless you have a purpose to look for it in the first place. There's no purpose of doing tests on fruitarians if like there's such little demand and so few people that do it, and a lot of people lie about it, and it's just like, you know, so I guess we're not at that point yet. I bring this up because someone left an interesting comment saying, you realize that vitamin K2 was discovered recently. 50 years ago, vitamin K2 was not a thing. 50 years, 20 years ago, I don't remember the exact date. B12, there's a lot of people, medical professionals, that still aren't fully on board of the B12 thing. A lot of people say it's a myth, it's getting more accepted, but that just goes to show, 100 years ago, no one was talking about B12. There may be something in animal products that switch, that battery, that makes us human. Obviously, I'm not the only person that's tried being vegan, or it's done it for an extended period of time and eventually stopped and had that first bite of meat again. And I've been watching other people's videos. For example, a guy named Chris, he went 9 years eating vegan. I think it was steak. And it was just like, wow, I just got put back down into reality. Wow, the veil has been lifted. I was watching a guy named Victor. He also has a YouTube channel, and the same thing happened to him. And you know what both these guys did? Both these were like long-term vegans for at least 5 or 6 years. And for example, Victor, he had high cholesterol eating a whole foods plant-based diet, high triglycerides. He had vitamin K2 deficiency. Like his body, he had the gene that didn't allow him to make vitamin K2. No matter how much greens you eat, if you aren't able to convert it to K2, then what are you supposed to do? You know, I think he had was it an iron problem, or he just had terrible blood work. He made videos about it. They just went so heavily into it. They really listened to their body, and they really went heavily into it for months. And now both of them, it's been a while since they did that, and now have gone back to eating mostly plants again, but still including the minimal egg every couple of days, or the fish once. But they brought up the point, I know both of them are biology majors. One of them is a permaculture biologist, something like, I don't know. He went to med school or something. No, the other one, I don't even know, but listen, they do a lot of research. These are not guys that are just saying, oh, I'm going to do this for whatever. They put a lot of thought into what they do. I remember Victor, when he went to the doctors, and he got his blood test, and the doctor was like, wow, your cholesterol's really high. You need to cut back on the meat and stuff. He's like, no, I'm still vegan. He's like, oh, stop eating the vegan junk food. He's like, listen, I don't eat oil. I don't eat fried foods. I eat chickpeas and lentils and beans and potatoes and lots of fruit, and I exercise. And he's like, wow, this doesn't seem right. And then he ate eggs, like 3 eggs, every single day, smashed in the eggs. And he went back in a few months to get his blood work done, and his cholesterol went back down. The message of eating more plants really needs to get out there. And one of the messages I tried to make in my videos, which I feel like wasn't like perceived as well, and I feel like I'm always going to be misunderstood, but then I don't expect anyone to be able to speak for me or feel for me if they haven't walked in my shoes, was that being so extreme may not be good long-term either. And so I really am keen, I guess you could say, that's not the word I usually say, I'm keen on the idea of plant-based omnivorism. But right now, I'm enjoying myself. I'm eating pizza for the first time in years. I'm having burgers, I'm having fish, I'm like enjoying it. And I might be, like, your liver runs out of storages. Orland, you know, he studied medicine, went to university and everything, and his prediction is, you know, first of all, I just say I'm so thankful to have such a supportive boyfriend on this. His prediction is that our body runs out of storages in the liver after like 3 or 4 years. If you're really, really strict with this, your storages might run out. That's a prediction, you know. If my face is turning red, that's because I feel like someone turned the AC off. It's like really stuffy in here. I'm in the bathroom, like I said. Speaking of Orlin, our relationship got a major boost. Now, my relationship with Orlin is really good. I'm deeply in love. I'm so happy to be with him. I feel so lucky, like I said, to have someone that's been with me through all my ups and downs, that's gonna love me no matter what I put in my mouth. He loves me for me, you know? And to have him be supportive. Well, he's one, like I said, one of the people that helped initiate this. He's like, look, listen, you have been going through this for at least a year and a half. Coming back from my gym in Florida, every day was a struggle. Every day I felt terrible. I built like no muscle, like no muscle. I smashed in the food. I listened to my trainer. I was so consistent and persistent and dedicated, and like he was like, baby, this is not working for you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you know because I know. Like I was in denial. I was like telling myself, no. Eventually it'll work. It'll just work because one day it'll work. Even though I'm doing the same thing. What does Albert Einstein say? Insanity is doing the same exact thing your whole life and expecting a different outcome. I wasn't willing. I thought I was doing something better by eating beans and lentils and stuff. But he's like, listen, you have felt like crap for so long. I cook for you. I prepare your meals. I have to live with you. I hear all your complaints. You know, I'm usually a really happy person, and I'm just, especially when I have my moments, like right now is such a moment where I'm just so happy because my tummy's happy and my mind is happy. And he's been through that all, and he really helped initiate eating food and stuff. I complain a lot though. The littlest things can agitate me. And a lot of people say, well, a lot of people, vegans like to say on the internet, well, just eat more calories and you'll fit. I can't possibly stuff in more food into my body. I have never met any other person eat as much as me. Even when I went to Thailand last summer, literally I was eating more than all the cyclists, and I was just sitting still in my apartment. So, listen, it's not a quantity of food, it's a quality of food. It's the source of food. You know how they say all calories are not created equally? Well, all calories are not gonna make you feel the same way too. My relationship with Orlin has just hit a new high. I remember like a week into eating the fish and stuff, he said, you haven't complained to me for like 3 days. And I just felt happier. It was like I got a supplement that actually worked. It's like I got a shot, like a booster. He's like, you are like different. Like your happy self, which I see, you know, everyone, your relationships, they see your good side and your bad side. They see your worst days and your best sides, your best days. He was just like, literally, it's like your good days are every day now. You know, it sounds it's anecdotal evidence. Trust me, I know. I'm not saying it's even evidence. I'm just saying from my experience, and I wish Orlin was here to talk about it. He's like, the happiest you is like more often now. And our relationship has been so good. And it might be a psychological thing, like reconnecting with the 99.7% of the people, the 8 billion people on this earth that aren't vegan. It might be like to feel normal again, even though I'm never going to be normal. I'm weird in my own ways, I know. It might be a little of that too. Or the combination of the fact that I just did it for so many years. I don't know. I also want to talk about first eating the fish and the eggs and the digestion. Everyone wants to know, well, how'd you digest it? The first night, the first day I had fish, it was filmed at nighttime. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I went to bed shortly after. I got very tired from it. I ate the fish and I was like, ooh, this wasn't, it was hard to eat, but then it was like, you know that flavor still in your mouth? You're kind of just like, oh yeah, it's like, not bad. I got very tired, and I think it had to do with dehydration. My body, it was like a foreign object to my body. So I think my body just did not know what to do. You know, when I first started eating a fruit-based diet, it took weeks for my body to be able to process 10 bananas at a time. That's like not what your body's used to. And a lot of people will argue that's not normal. When I first started eating beans and potatoes after being raw, it took weeks to be able to digest it. I was in so much pain. And then I was like, oh, now it's good. And I'm like, okay, well, all the vegan doctors are saying this is healthy. Ignore the raw food people. I'm like, okay, I'd rather listen to a vegan doctor. And then when I stopped doing that, and I went, yeah, it hurt as well. So I was very tired. It was seen as a foreign object, but it hurt. You can't expect to go from an extreme to another extreme. Your body sees it as extreme. You're telling yourself. And expect it to be normal. Like, you have to give it time. So I did give it time, and the eggs didn't give me problems. It was just the fish. The cheeseburger, which I'll be putting out in a day or two, my first cheeseburger, that also, not the day, I felt so good that day. Oh my gosh, so sharp, so happy, so energized. Literally, that cheeseburger fueled me for 6 hours. Eating any other type of vegan diet, whether I was eating high fat, low fat, high protein, low protein, high herb, raw, cooked, like literally every 3 or 4 hours, and it was still this fogginess, like there's just too much, I think, way too many carbs. That cheeseburger, that protein helped me over hours. The happiness, the satiety, like I just, like my mind just felt so good. And the next day, it was like, the next morning, it was like terrible pains. So I know, it's just reintroducing so that's what you guys want to know, right? What's it like to eat them again? Well, it's not gonna feel normal, physically, mentally, or emotionally. So you just have to get through it. I went to the airport. I stayed at a hotel the night beforehand, and it was the same hotel that I had stayed in the past on 2 occasions. The first occasion was back in like 2014, I think, when I first went to South America, and I was eating a raw food diet. It's the second time visiting South America, and I was eating a cooked vegan whole foods diet. And I remember we even brought the friggin' rice cooker to make like soups and stuff, like cooked veggies and stuff. The third time was now, where I ate fish and eggs that day. I still had lentils. I think I talked about it in my mukbang, if you guys remember. Crackers, what else? Yeah. The third time, mentally, it was like this weird experience, because it's like, it was a familiar hotel. I'd been there in the past. It was a familiar location of the city. I remember we were walking down the street going to the hotel, and Orlin looks at me and he says, doesn't it feel like we're real now? There's something different. I don't know if it's neurons in our head. I don't know if it's a nutrient that we haven't discovered. Not a nutrient, a compound, a thing, something in animal products that we haven't discovered yet that makes us human, or like makes us what we've evolved to be. I don't know. What we've trained our bodies to get used to. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answers, you guys. I don't know. But it felt so different. And we went to the hotel, we went into the room, and we actually stayed at the same room. Well, not the first time, but the second time, where I brought the rice cooker. The same room. It was like a whole different experience. And I remember opening the window and looking out into the city, and I was just like, the first 2 times here, I felt like it was a dream. Remember I talked about memory problems that I've had for so many years? And I remember when we were eating raw food, it was like every little thing was magical. Oh, this apple, oh. And everything tastes delicious because you're literally starving. At least we were. Well, actually, no, the first time, yeah. But even when I was eating like a ton of fruit, it was just like still. It's like a different realm. It's like a paradigm shift. It's like literally your brain is running differently. So you're gonna perceive things differently. So now that I was eating animal products, I perceived this as so sharp and so vivid and so like crisp. Like I broke free from that dream. You know, a dream might be nice at first. It's kind of like drugs, I guess, you know, when you're tipsy or you're doing weed or whatever you do. You know, people like that feeling of being out of control. Yes, I felt in control. That's what I want, that word, control. A lot of people like feeling out of control. A lot of people like feeling a little different. And obviously some people experience it more so than others. Like, I get tipsy from like this much wine. You get tipsy from this much wine. So a lot of vegans out there are not going to be able to relate to this now or maybe later. Like I said, go vegan for 5 years and get back to me if you're vegan for 5 months and you're telling me your blood tests are perfect and you feel so wonderful. I did too, I know, but you know, you have to walk in my shoes. I know no one's going to be, very few people are going to relate to me, but the ones that have gotten to me, literally I've gotten hundreds of emails, Facebook messages. I'm so glad I'm not alone. You remember those two guys I mentioned? Also going, the breaking vegan is where I they went through the same thing. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's like the same reason why people that go from the sad standard American diet of eating cheeseburgers every single day and not eating that much plants for like, you know, 10 years of your life, and then you put them back on plants, that will help balance it out, you know? So it's the same idea, right? I guess I'm going to end this jibble jabble, if you want to call it that, with, despite all the hate and backlash, I mean, yeah, it gets to me sometimes, but I haven't let it stop me. I'm not going to take people on the internet and let them control my life. Like I said, I felt like one of the reasons why I waited so long to like talk about the deficiencies or talk about the mental problems or just wanting to stop. Look, I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, what else can I say? I didn't talk about it for so long because I wanted to please people. And I kind of just need to do what I want to do. And I kind of just have to, I get one shot at this life. People change. People literally change. Whether you change your religion, you break free from the church and then you go through this identity crisis, whether you break free from being a piggish fast food eater every single day of the week and you need to rebalance with plant-based diet, like super strict for how many years? But life's always changing. And that goes both ways. And I feel like if I was making videos that were pleasing the people upset, well, it's not going to please myself and it's not going to please other people. No matter what I do, people are going to like call me names. People are going to take me out of context. People are going to think they know what I feel. I just have to do what I need to do for me. I'm so happy, so happy. Like, I'm really, really restraining. I'm really holding back because I don't want my roommates to think I'm like super crazy, shouting and crying in the bathroom. You know, like just like, oh my gosh. You know? And I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of you guys watching this can't relate to a single thing I'm talking about. And I get that. And I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys just found me a week ago, 2 months ago, or even a year ago, and you don't understand the years of trying my hardest, giving it my all. And I'm sorry that you can't relate to that either. And this is the change that I needed. And right now, as of 3 weeks into it, I have seen so much benefit, besides the initial digestive problem, which I don't mind, because it's worth it for me. In the midst of the death threats, in the midst of I don't really take the death threats that personally, whatever. Well, for instance, I really wanted to have a meetup here in Hollywood, and because of the hate, I've decided not to, because I don't want to put myself at risk. I don't want to put people there at the meetup at risk. I was going to do a meetup with another YouTuber here, and she also was like, I don't feel comfortable being around your audience because they're unstable and they're vicious. So, and that's not everyone, that's just people who have, those of you that have taken the time out of your day to spam me with hundreds of comments to tell me how awful I am. I don't know what else to say. I'm just really happy. And that light bulb finally went off. And how I'm eating now, is this how I'm going to eat 10 years from now? Probably not. But this is in the moment. Like when I initially turned on the camera and I said, make videos in the moment. Because that's the realest version of you. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another video. If you enjoyed this, please give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And leave your feedback in the comment section, because I would like to know. And those of you who have supported me or have reached out to me, thank you so much. Thank you. Like, it's really helped. I haven't given up. I'm not gonna stop. But the thought does cross my mind when I have to scroll through 2,000 comments of I hope you die, or you should be raped like a cow, or you're a disgrace, before I find your comment that says, I support you. You know, I haven't given up. Have a great night. I'm gonna go to sleep. Bye.